It was supposed to be a quiet morning, the kind where the world moves just slow enough to feel like you're part of it. Samantha Rivers, 42, pulled her fleece tighter around her shoulders as she stepped onto Old Miller Road. The air was crisp with the scent of early spring, wet earth, thawing leaves, and the distant tang of fresh-cut wood from someone's chainsaw humming a mile off. This road had always been her escape. Half-paved, half-forgotten, Old Miller wound like a lazy river between empty fields and overgrown woods, the last sliver of rural peace before the sprawl of subdivisions and gas stations took over. Out here, the world quieted down. No traffic, no horns, just the rhythmic crunch of gravel beneath her boots and the sound of her own breath. But that morning, something felt off. It was subtle at first, a strange rhythm beneath the wind, a dragging sound, plastic scraping along gravel, and then low, guttural grunts. She slowed, heart instinctively skipping a beat. There, just up ahead, something emerged from the edge of the brush, half hidden in the shadow of a leaning pine tree, where the asphalt broke into packed dirt, a German shepherd, thin, ghostly. The dog was dragging a large white plastic bag, one of those cheap, crinkly kinds you'd get from a dollar store. It was tied tightly at the top, bulging heavily in the middle, catching on stones and clumps of dirt as it bumped along the road behind her. Samantha stopped, blinked. At first she thought maybe the dog had found some trash, maybe dragging away leftovers looking for food. But then the bag shifted, twitched, and a sound, barely there, rose up from inside, a cry, faint, scratchy, desperate. Samantha's stomach turned cold. She took a step forward, eyes wide. The dog stopped dragging the bag. Her head jerked up sharply, ears folding back, teeth visible for a split second. Her stance wasn't aggressive. It was protective. She placed her thin, trembling body between Samantha and the bag. That was when Samantha saw it. The way the dog moved, slow, uneven. Her back paw barely touched the ground. Her fur was dirty, matted with mud and something darker. Patches were missing along her legs and spine, and still she stood her ground, not as a stray, as a mother. The look in her eyes wasn't feral. It was exhausted, desperate, pleading. Samantha slowly crouched, holding out her hands, palms up. "It's okay, girl," she said softly, her voice breaking. "I'm not here to hurt you." The shepherd stared for a long moment. Then, without a sound, she stepped aside. Samantha moved in carefully, heart pounding so hard it drowned out everything else. The plastic bag was slightly torn near the bottom. Dirt clung to the edges. Something inside squirmed. She reached down, untied the knot with trembling fingers, and peeled it open. Her breath caught. Inside, wrapped in a ragged, damp cloth, were 3 newborn puppies, eyes still shut, barely bigger than her palm. Their tiny bodies shook with shallow breaths. One of them let out a faint cry, a rasping, broken whimper that barely made it past its lips. Samantha's knees hit the dirt. "Oh, my God," she whispered. She looked up. The mother hadn't moved, just stood there, eyes fixed on her babies. She didn't blink, didn't flinch. Tears welled in Samantha's eyes. "You brought them here," she whispered. "You dragged them all this way." The dog gave a soft whine, almost a whisper of her own. Without hesitation, Samantha stripped off her hoodie, wrapped the puppies inside, holding them close to her chest. Their bodies were cold, too cold. She looked back at the mother. "I'm not leaving you behind," she said. She stood, adjusting the bundle in her arms. She wasn't sure what the dog would do, but the shepherd followed, limping. Every step looked painful. But she never paused, never looked back. She had done what no one thought possible. She had saved her babies. The puppies were nestled in a warm pile of blankets beneath a small heater. They were still so fragile, just over a week old now. Eyes barely open, they squeaked and stretched, soft bodies moving instinctively toward each other for warmth. But Grace wasn't there. She was back at the clinic. And she wasn't getting better. Dr. Nina had called earlier that evening. "The infection is deeper than we thought. We've started stronger antibiotics, but her body is very weak. She might not respond." Samantha had gone silent. All she could do was nod, then whisper, "Please, don't give up on her." Now she watched the puppies sleep, heart sinking. They needed her, not just for feeding, but for something deeper. They needed their mom to come home. Suddenly a knock, 3 soft taps, quick, nervous. Samantha blinked, startled. She stood slowly, crossed the floor, and opened the door just a few inches. Standing on the porch was a teenage girl, no older than 16. She wore a faded hoodie, jeans, untied sneakers, and had dark circles under her eyes. "Are you Samantha Rivers?" the girl asked, voice barely a whisper. "Yes," Samantha replied cautiously. "Can I help you?" The girl glanced over her shoulder, then back. "You're the one who found the shepherd, right? The one with the puppies?" Samantha hesitated. "Yes." "Why?" "Can I come in?" "Just for a minute." Something in her eyes stopped Samantha from saying no. She opened the door wider. The girl stepped inside. She looked immediately at the puppies. Her face softened, her eyes shimmered. "I knew she'd do it," she whispered. Samantha frowned. "You knew Grace?" "She wasn't called Grace. He just called her G4. Samantha's stomach turned. "Who are you?" The girl pulled back her hoodie. "My name's Lena. I used to help feed the dogs." She sat on the edge of the couch, eyes on the floor. "I was working there, at the farm, for like 2 months. I needed the cash." Samantha listened, her pulse quickening with every word. "They didn't tell me what it was at first. Said it was just kennel cleaning, feeding, but then I saw the branding, the fights. The ones that got sick just disappeared." Lena looked up, eyes brimming with guilt. "I saw her, Grace. She tried to escape once before. They punished her. That's how she got the cut. They tied her near the ditch. No food, no water." Samantha's breath hitched. "She still protected her babies," Lena whispered. "Even then, she dug a little hole under the fence. I saw her leave, with the bag in her teeth." Samantha sat across from her, hands shaking. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because he's still watching." "Who?" "The guy who owns it all. He saw you that day. He knows someone took the dog." Samantha's heart pounded. "You mean he's been watching me?" Lena nodded. "He thinks you'll talk to the police. He doesn't want that." Samantha stood, moved to the window, pulled the curtain back an inch. The street was empty. Still, it didn't feel safe anymore. Lena rose to leave. "I just wanted you to know, be careful. And if the mom survives, tell her she was brave." By the time Samantha turned back, the girl was gone. She locked the door, double-checked the back, then knelt beside the puppies. She reached into the blanket. Warm. Software. But one of them, the smallest, wasn't moving. No. She gently lifted it. Still. Limp. She pressed her fingers to its chest. Nothing. A single tear slid down her cheek as she wrapped the tiny body in cloth and held it close. Then her phone buzzed. Call from "Nah." She answered, voice cracking. "She's not—" "Samantha," Na said, voice steady. She opened her eyes. "She's lifting her head. I think she's fighting back." And just like that, hope returned, but so did danger, because someone out there was planning to make sure Grace never left that clinic alive. Later that night, it was just past midnight when Samantha sat up in bed. Something wasn't right. She didn't know what woke her, a sound, a feeling. Her chest felt tight. The room, too cold, too quiet. She tiptoed down the hallway. The puppies were sleeping in the box by the heater. Now only 3. She looked at the smallest one, now named, and touched his paw. Still breathing, she sighed. Then she noticed it. A shadow. Outside the window. She froze. It moved slowly, cautiously. Someone was in her backyard. She backed away, heart racing. Grabbed her phone. Dialed. 911. What's your emergency? There's someone outside. I think they're watching me. I have newborn puppies, and I think it's connected to an animal cruelty case. Officers are en route. Stay inside. Do not engage. But then the back gate creaked open. She moved fast, locked the back door, turned off the hallway light, grabbed the flashlight. In the kitchen, she peeked through the back window. A figure near the fence, tall, wearing a hood, and something in his hand glinted, a crowbar. He wasn't just watching. He was coming in. Before she could scream, the porch light flicked on, motion sensor. He froze. Then, her neighbor's dog barked, loud, furious. Another porch light flicked on, then another. The figure turned and ran. Samantha bolted to the front, just in time to see him jump into a dark pickup and disappear into the night. Her hands shook as she locked the door. 10 minutes later, Officer Rayner arrived. He took her statement, walked the property, noted the tire tracks. "You were right," he said. "This wasn't random." He handed her a folded piece of paper he'd found near the back gate. She opened it. "Don't let her live," written in red marker. The room spun. "You said there was a brand on the dog." "RG." She nodded. "We just found out those initials match a known breeder, Ronald Grant. Used to operate out of Oklahoma. Went underground after a federal raid last year. Why would he come here? Because if that shepherd survives, she's proof. She's the link." The next morning, Samantha drove straight to the clinic, holding Milo wrapped in a towel. When she walked in, Dr. Na looked up, eyes red. "She had a seizure last night." Samantha's knees nearly buckled. "But she's still fighting," Na added. "We've upped the meds. She opened both eyes this morning." Samantha sank to the floor beside Grace's pen. She placed Milo gently next to her. The tiny pup wiggled forward, nestled into her fur. Grace let out a soft exhale, a sound of recognition, of peace. Na walked over with a clipboard. "There's a vet in Oregon, a sanctuary. They take in cruelty victims. They have round-the-clock care, rehab, open fields." "You think she should go?" "I think she deserves it." Samantha looked at Grace. She reached to stroke her paw. Grace's eyes fluttered. Her body tensed. Alarms beeped. Na rushed forward. "Come on, girl, stay with me. Don't give up now." The monitor flatlined. Samantha held her breath. Just before Na reached for the paddles, a breath. Grace's chest rose, slow, weak, but alive. "She's not done," Na whispered. "Not yet." 2 days later, Grace stood on her own, weak but proud. She nudged her puppies with her nose, then lay beside them with a long, tired sigh. Samantha sat nearby, watching like a mother. "She made it," Na whispered. "Most wouldn't have." Samantha smiled through tears. "She's not like most,